Prime taps is awful. What? Era trying his best to lose. Legendary Alliance defense. Match fix is not even pretending. 4-1 into 4-13. One bomb set empty every round. Dude, I swear. Under my goal, weed smoke sense. Chat, I'm telling you, am I delusional, bro?
A series worthy of a third map and a third map. We are serving you up on a silver platter. There could not be higher expectations. There could not be higher stakes. And I am beyond excited just to the final resting place of this series.
It is time, boys. Everybody lock in, bro. Everybody lock in.
It's gonna be a very, very exciting game here for our final one. It's the penultimate or the last map. We just had our penultimate one, and I mean, previously we had a 2-0, and already here we're being treated with one more, and already a closer affair. Everything is screaming that this is the grand final. Now, for our very final map, we are going to dust to. Previously, this was the very first map of the series. It was a 13-3 in favor of Alliance.
1,000 gifted for one game. Would that be more salary than Sasha, chat?
Different as well.
I can't be underselling myself.
By BC.GAME. So honestly, everything can be up for grabs.
Alright, here we go.
I don't really know where we stand anymore, because right now BC.GAME has gotten that momentum on their side.
You're getting sued, buddy.
They could do, but things have flipped. And where does that leave us?
I think it's going to be interesting, and the knife round is going to be super important here. Because
Chat,
last
who's
time
gonna lift the trophy?
it was the BC.GAME.
Who's going to be the champion of ESL Challenger? And who's going to be made complete fun
and then they
of?
found
Because let's address it, bro. Let's address it.
CT side.
Whoever loses here
It could be interesting to see, and by nothing in the CT side,
will
I
be
mean,
made
there's
fun
one
of, bro.
They lost the pistol. Their pistols haven't been
Scheisse.
amazing today. I think they've only secured one of the 4 that we've seen so far, and even that
The
was
highest
a little
paid
bit close.
esports player, allegedly,
But if they
cannot be losing
get
to Alliance
themselves
right
a
now, bro.
nice CT side start,
Higher salary than
work quite well
Zygo.
for them,
Make it
and
make
as
sense.
little T side as possible to play might be.
Let's
what they
obliterate
need
these guys,
to really
alright?
get this
Come on, bro.
so far, and even that was a
Yeah,
little
exactly.
bit
I mean,
close.
I'm just very much
You are the
excited.
highest paid
Currently,
now.
we see-
Yo, bro.
I mean, even though we haven't seen too much AWP shenanigans, I mean, the previous map had definitely been more.
I gotta stop saying we,
but
bro. This is just like evidence.
It is ultimately the AWPers that are currently on the top of the scoreboard, both Era and Simple, of course. Simple having an amazing free kill over on Inferno just now.
According to players,
Really showing that, you know,
Alexander
no matter
Simple,
what type of team he
Sasha,
is, he
salary in
can
the
shine, and
BC.GAME
he's
CS team
still
is
got it
130k
inside
per
of him,
month.
which is
according
a very
to
good sign for
players.
him. But
This is
now
a
we gotta
bright
wait and
source. We
see
are sometimes
who's gonna be
leaks around
starting
numbers.
out
I
on
don't know if
which
that's true.
side
This makes
here
him the
in our
highest
very
paid CS
final
pro
map in this best of 3.
player while playing.
Both sides are lovely
while the second is
rounds
Zygo.
to look at.
According to
And
our
over here,
information, that's
I got this
100k per month. Well, these guys are talking out of
They
their
just
ass.
left
Oh, what do you mean?
Casanita.
According to our sources,
1v1
100k, like a flat
They're
number.
gonna go in 1,000 out.
There you go.
Side here. They're gonna go back out.
This might be the longest knife round I've ever seen.
Lock in,
Both
lock in.
sides are lovely. They are a bit scared to be the initiator, I guess. Bit left and right.
They've just left Casanita.
But it looks like
Come
the
on, chat.
CTs,
Knife round
which
really
is
important.
Alliance,
Whoever wins gets to
are
start on
gonna be the
fucking
ones
CT side.
to decide if they wanna
Or T side,
stay
whatever you prefer.
on CT
Imagine
or
so.
if they want to switch. And well, it looks like CT will be.
Yeah, CT pistol round. If they can secure a pistol, a nice little start here. The big one, I think, is to deny a bomb plant, because BC.GAME, when they've been on the half buys, have been incredibly disruptive. So if they can try stop any shenanigans in this pistol, win it out cleanly, it'll be a lovely first step. BC.GAME, as I just said, a pistol round win would be incredible. A bomb plant also so. Looks like Era wanting to take a little bit of a fight already. Spotted somebody on out, but it's long range. He can't quite find it. He's actually just going to give it up at this point. It's tempted to go over the top to allow them to take this mid space. It's a very methodical approach to the pistol round.
Yeah, take it slow, look for maybe any pushes that are to come, and then if that's not going to be the case, now slowly taking some mid control. Couple of tags, but shouldn't be too much to worry about here for BC.GAME. Just taking it a step at a time. And with that mid control, you can go into tunnels. You can maybe see if there is potential for a B split, but you got to deal with Era. Ooh, backs off maybe at the perfect time, honestly. But he soon will know what might be up with that smoke that gets thrown. So waiting for the right moment to throw in a flash. which he will do. Not quite hitting the timing there, but he does manage to escape, and that means a lot of pressure upon him and Upe. And Upe is certainly good for one. Twist does fall, Error does grab one more, but it does rain majority yellow up in that kill feed. Bomb has been planted, and it's only Poi left to rotate.
Yeah.
Well, position has been revealed. He is looking everywhere but where the players are. And with that, it is BC.GAME securing the pistol.
I think it's because they're so tunnel visioned on the push through mid doors there. Is that they are not expecting Casanito where he is. He's so disruptive there. And the fact that he's still going towards the end, lovely round, lovely positioning to draw so much of the attention away. Make them think that mid is the only place that they need to be particularly worried about. As we said, pistol rounds haven't been great, but we said we wanted a pistol or we wanted a bomb plant. We were given a pistol, we've been given a lovely buy. There is going to be a force to try and counteract this, get themselves back on the board and in the running early on. Upe doing more damage to his own team than his opponents right now, but they've established so much heavy control here initially, and actually now going to back away, maybe feeling a bit overkill to have stepped this far.
I mean, maybe it's these types of risks that can help win a round. Did you feel that you maybe need in order to secure it?
Well, I mean,
but you know, it's the high risk, high reward.
This is where they were burnt in the pistol round, so I think putting the extra focus there is good. But the issue is that the only eyes that they've even got remotely near mid is Upe and Tunnels there, and he's not exactly had the widest window of view. But there's a lovely opening shot. Nexa not able to trade it on up. Era close range with the MP9 pixel angle to work with, gets one. Nexa being chased down here by Upe. And it's a lovely way to kick this off. We said the force buy to try and keep this in contention early, and they'll find that Casanito again just pushes out on to be unstoppable. Smoke goes out, but the issue is Simple has the bomb and he's working elsewhere in the map. Potentially able to get a little bit of a timing over towards A, unsuspected. But they are floating the idea right now that B might not be the final resting place.
Slowly but surely creeping out on short. Still tucked in CT. Oh, this timing can be everything. Casanito finds the kill. There's a trade though. But Simple does manage to plant that bomb. Has information on one player. And if he... oh, well, he catches the deeper player as well. Surely he should notice one already a bit closer. So timing will be everything. Spots the player boosting up, spots the head of the other, but isn't quite there in time in order to land that second kill as well. And that means we go back and forth.
Yeah, lovely round to pick up. A couple of rounds, a couple of moments in that round where I'm sucking my breath, going, oh, that's a lot closer than it needs to be. The fact that he gets the information on both, and that the fights are allowed to be isolated as well as huge. I mean, Avid lucky there at the end, but they've done themselves a huge service here by finding that round and putting the Tech-9s back in the hands of BC.GAME. There is a Galil available, but that's going to be the statement piece of this. I say that, the statement piece, and then Simple pulls out a scout. Might as well. Shot fired off, but Era is going to capitalize. He's got the bigger sniper. He's got the better one, so he is going to find that opening pick. Looking for a little bit more. No one really wants to show their face after that. Wants to part open the smoke and just keep this window of vision going. Twist super close up to long doors here. Anybody even wants to remotely poke their head, he is going to know about it.
Oh my god. Well, 2 for 1, but in the end there it does tie things up. It's 3v3 as we speak. Though they are still yet to set foot onto that bomb side. And I mean, that certainly is going to make things a bit trickier. If you take the short player out, you boost yourself up, and suddenly a lot more space to work with. So the AWP close, that can be a bit tricky, and it indeed will deem so. Going 1 for 1 again, still a player advantage. But only time will tell, because we have Poi's position compromised. Nexa will go for that kill, but where is that remaining player? Upe is there. And And the timing should be his. He's not looking the right way, not there in time. And sure, bomb plan secured, but the follow-up round will go the way of Alliance.
Yeah, that short player going down is absolutely everything. Prime taps, needed to stay alive there realistically. Again, I got a little bit worried towards the end because it came down to a matter of 2 1v1s. Utility cores out, Boy goes down, but luckily it just managed to sneak around, hadn't been spotted at all. A single footstep or anything gives away the game and could go very differently, but alas, not how the round played out. Era's got AWP in hands. BC.GAME, again, with a little bit of a weaker buy, but they still really want to say something about this. They're not going to let any of these rounds go quietly.
This is early here for a timeout.
Yeah.
I mean, I am, maybe a bit skeptical with how early this is, and so far it's still pretty back and forth, but I guess BC.GAME definitely does feel the pressure of this final map. This is sort of kind of a do or die moment. Sure, you have your prize money, you have your VRS points, but it is that number 1 spot that gives you a shot of making it to Pro League, and if you don't make it now, you got to do it all over again with another full-on cup in about 2 weeks from now.
Yeah. And it seems that everyone has been ramping up. Like, the improvements we've seen from ECL Cup 1 to 2, especially for these two teams. But across the board, the level of CS we've seen step up quite dramatically. So it seems to be getting harder the more that everyone is warming up into the format. Oh, Twist bites off way more than he can chew with that peak. And it's going to leave this A site feeling very wounded. They're going to call people across really early to try and deal with this.
Once again, go out long here. So far just smoke there. But gonna try and make themselves through, make it disappear, a bit back and forth, but they actually managed to deal long range with the AWP. A lot of pressure now coming their way, and honestly, this should be the end of the round. It's only Upe who is left standing on the other side of the map.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about Era's position there. Because there was a little bit of a window over towards the right, but he didn't really feel like fighting that angle. When the HE gets blown open, there's a missed shot, and he stood basically out in the open. And when all of his support system goes down, it's just there's nothing left for him to work with. He stood out in the open with a weapon that's not even going to let him escape particularly quickly. Upe is going to be fighting for his life to keep hold of the single solitary rifle.
Oof. Not gonna stand much longer. And well, I guess the timeout that we were perhaps a bit skeptical of, it definitely did work out. I mean, as you said, the positioning on the side of Alliance wasn't maybe the greatest either. It's a bit of both. But, you need to adapt, you need to exploit your enemy's vulnerabilities, and so far they did a pretty good job doing that. And then hoping to see if they can convert onto a little bit more. Definitely economy-wise, it is heavily in their favor. Twist already taken out, Boy taking a good hit with the AWP. So far, a good start.
Yeah, an absolutely lovely start. Era now just with the scout, hoping to find something. He's going to have a whole onslaught to try and deal with. First player picked off, just ahead, visible, but that's all he needs, especially with the scout jiggling with this angle, wanting a little bit more. Unfortunately, long range headshot with the Galil's going to put all of that to bed, but he's whittled the numbers a tiny bit. Jump on up to short there, Hunter. Gonna try and punish. Smokes are there to cross, and this is a very awkward angle for them to try and fight. But there's a player trying to crunch long, but so far removed that it's not going to be applying any pressure, and by the time that he can work his way around, that bomb's going to go down, and it's going to be an even harder fight to try and win.
Honestly, what are you going to do long with a pistol in hand versus rifles? It's pretty much a lost cause. And with that, it is also BC.GAME who survived with the majority of the players, so economy-wise, they're slowly starting to get into a better spot and give themselves the momentum that they were looking for.
Momentum has been very much a hot topic today. Alliance, I mean, they had a little bit of a look there, but BC.GAME just stormed through that first half of Inferno. It's definitely been a little bit more hotly contested in the early stages. This map, in another tech pause, I can't help but worry sometimes. We talked about momentum, it keeps getting, you know, stagnated and cut off a little bit by this choppy stop, start, stop, start. And with the back and forth, the economies as well have been in a spot of bother, but with Alliance on the CT side, that's going to feel the burn of that on and off a little bit more.
Yeah, we've actually had quite a bit of, I mean, not major tech issues, but definitely a couple of rounds where there were some small slip-ups. Technical-wise, but luckily they get resorted to quite quickly. But, yeah, only Castanito, I mean, he has this bonus weapon, which is a Mech 10, so he can just get up close and personal, farm a bit of extra cash, help out the economy even further, because right now they are up against just USPs, so it's gonna be a stack, which actually might end up walking into, because all 5 of them are gonna be exiting long doors and awaiting potential demise. Oh, Castanito certainly has spotted him, simple now as well. Looks like they are still going to be going for it, not evading the danger, just hunting them down. Prime taps, sure, did fall. But so far, I mean, this side cleared out, and, well, Era, the last remaining player, was the sole B anchorer, so with that, they're kind of scouting, because they realize he is not home, he must be somewhere else, but where is he?
Yeah, sometimes you see these pistol stacks and it's like, oh, if they can run into the stack of pistol, oh, okay, there we go. I was gonna say, there's no doubt in our minds, but with the pistol stacks, there's usually, if you can try and overwhelm and you can find an opening pick, but the issue is that it wasn't the overwhelming firepower of everyone there. They were just in one place to be taken out in one foul swoop. Long range with the pistols, it's an awkward, cumbersome fight. But BC.GAME is starting to put a little bit of something together on the board. Already done better on their T side than they did. Done better on the T side in the first third of the half than they did the entirety of the first half last time they played. And that's a really good sign to see improvements being made. Twist. Early bit of a look. Keep hold of this control. He's worried that somebody might have crossed. Now, we can see that they haven't, but he's still got that bit of a doubt in his mind, and Flash to go over as well is going to allow him to push a little bit further if he'd like to. But actually, maybe the call to back away might be the right decision.
Oof, eating that nade. Well, from ideal, but gotta keep on. Continue with the mission as follows. Oh, there's actually a follow-up nade. Ooh, it's getting a bit more tricky now. Below half HP, and he's the sole short player. He's getting this incendiary right beneath his feet as well. Like, it's as if they can smell that he is around the corner. But it's only one player though. The majority still is looming outside of long doors, a part of the map where they have been quite a couple of times before already and had quite a large chunk of success. Gonna try and go for a repeat once more. Util is out, but CTs are pretty much present, all in CT and are already up on short, so it could still get very tricky to try and set foot upon this bomb site.
Trying to set foot upon a bomb site is going to be a huge struggle here. Upe in the smoke, it's just a matter of who, and as they try and lure him out, lure they will, and Undo falls, and that is going to be a round on the board. Alliance not willing to let this slip too far too quickly. Keep this hotly contested game of cat and mouse to kick us off this half. It's going to mean not really too much to go up against BC.GAME right now. With the money between Simple and Undo, the whole team should be able to buy whatever they damn well please.
Exactly. So, no pressure, but I mean, ultimately, you know, they are calling a timeout here. The round did not go the way they wanted that to go.
Not quite.
Not quite. So time to rethink everything. Try again.
Timeouts, a lot of timeouts being used very early on here.
I mean, it's pretty much all on the side of BC.GAME. It just makes me worry a bit that they feel the pressure a bit more in comparison to Alliance, who is even around behind currently.
Oh, what a flashbang out on towards the long doors players there. Hera's got one, and it's almost allowed. I say it's almost allowed. It's allowed the opportunity for Twist to escape there. Smoke's gonna blossom. Another incredible flash. They're burning alive. The utility is relentless this round.
Had to do a good job stalling, and now suddenly CTs are getting close. Couldn't quite maybe reposition the way they want to, but done a good job either doing damage, keeping them at bay for the time being, setting themselves up for success. And surely, yes they are. Avid, sure he is dead, but Twist is good for free, is hoping to land himself the final one, and he will do so. A lovely 4K coming out of him. And again, positioning, the timing of the flash, it is everything. Like, pretty much every single flash blind at a minimum of 2 plays in that round. That is absolutely incredible stuff.
Yeah, super quick rotate on over as well, because they have absolutely nowhere near the level of utility to do that if they don't, you know, levy those B players to expend their resources in the A assault. So, exciting.
I do want to say though, like, at this moment, it does feel like BC.GAME has pretty much sort of a similar game plan every single round. Like, we see A being hit a lot here. Not a whole lot of B action thus far. And it feels a bit like a story repeating itself. And with that, Alliance, you know, the way how quickly they were able to send over reinforcements over towards A and were pretty much ready for that to be a full-on push. They knew what was happening. They were getting red. So maybe BC.GAME needs to be doing something a little bit different. Currently, I is a bit more up on middle. Well, they know that there's an orb right behind that smoke, and with some pistols in hand, you might just want to see if you can rush a bit fast, see if you can overwhelm, and they will do so. The orb is left there.
Clear this out. Yeah, they are. Flash, ooh, goes over the top. Twist, not quite expecting them as far along as they are in this attack. Boy, heading on up. So many heads to shoot on, but every time that they take down one, another one appears. A lot of team damage done in the mix of all of this as well, but Upe 1 versus 2 needs this first fight, but this smoke, it's taking its time to dissipate, stall upon stall upon stall. On the plus side, there's been no weapons recovered, which gives him a huge leg up here, but he needs to win out this first fight. Quick adjustment, but no prime taps with the prime position. Absolutely incredible. They find themselves around where they had maybe not no business winning it, but incredibly low chances. Put themselves a leg up, and we've got whiplash with how much we're going back and forth between these teams.
Yeah. Oh god. It is Dust 2, isn't it? Now, yeah, as you said, like that, it wasn't like it was completely impossible for BC.GAME to win that. But I do like that they had a bit of a different approach that I was hoping to see, and especially in a round like that. With the orb revealing itself, trying to rush him down, get mid-control, and I guess take it from there. And I did a pretty solid job. Now, resources are a bit more stable. Not quite as much on the Alliance side. Just upgraded pistols, not a single smoke or flash in their hand. In their case, it's definitely going to ask a bit of a miracle for them to hang on to this defense.
Yeah, cling on for dear life might be an apt analogy. Slowly through tunnels again, looking to favour this A site once more, but to be honest with you, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Nades go over the top, allow Anzu the space to push. Deeper nades get them round the corner here. It's not quite burnt out, so they have to stall themselves for a second. Get one step closer, taking it stride at a time. Now comes the treacherous corner. Smoke to go over the top. No head spotted yet. Flash to go over. Oh, lovely pick from Poi. Spamming away, still got some life left in him. And even after that juicy nade there, it is finally prime taps to take him on out. Simple, low HP amidst all of this as well. But Casanito, the king of positioning, the king of timing this map, has to do it once more, finds the first, manages to back away, spraying desperately, trying to find a second, but knows that being greedy could cost him the round. Nexa round the corner here. Are they aware that there is a player hiding? Oh, there's an idea. Upe goes down. Casanito just covering fire. That's all they need to do is stall and stall and stall. There's no kits available right now, and time's starting to wear a little bit thin. They're going to back away. Reload comes on through, and they're just going to filter down long. An exit plan needed.
I mean, people are sort of like throwing weapons away in the hopes that they won't get hunted down or recovered. So far, so good. Era is quite far away from a weapon. Will make a run for something, but I don't think he's getting away with it. So yeah, couple kills, but not a whole lot of damage dealt in this round. So we keep seeing Alliance getting stuck on 4. Feels like a bit of a repeat of our previous map where we had this 6-4 half and things looked a bit shaky.
Just a little bit. Set pause comes up, and again, we talked about it being a choppy half. But it seems that BC.GAME's thriving in the anarchy and the chaos of the back and forth a little bit more than Alliance are. Alliance seem to be unable to really find footing if it's not within the confines of a really heavy streak of momentum.
Yeah, you gotta keep you cool. We talked already a bit about it yesterday, how BC.GAME, they had to deal with a lot of these sort of tech issues as well. And they eventually came out on top. You know, you have experienced players on your squad. Though maybe for someone like Simple, you know, the online era of CS is maybe a little bit more foreign to him.
Maybe a little bit. I mean, online CS is, there's its own debate, isn't it? I remember when the game first came out and everyone was like, oh, it feels so much better online. Bomb gonna get left fully in spawn. The reason I mention this is we've seen a couple of times where this has backfired for them. A couple of last minute executes. So they're gonna send Casanito back pretty early on to grab it this time. Scoop it up while the rest of the team is taking mid, and look at that, take mid they have, and in such incredible fashion.
Yeah, no escaping the Molotov. I mean, on the flip side, there has been a very good counter nade here, though, knowing that there's short presence currently. And in fact, I mean, it doesn't maybe seem to matter, because Poi now also falls. And sort of in this mid-territory, there's a lot of casualties, forcing Upe to abandon B, play quite deep in towards middle. And instead here though, we have one player up along. He needs to get a kill and will do so, but is it going to be enough? Because pretty much that is one player up to defend this site, and from so far away, the last player is not able to cross into CT because it's just too dangerous by yourself.
It might just be the call to save now. Yeah. And pray that you can find a timing to get that pit player out. It's looking unlikely, especially with Simple, I don't want to say trained on the angle, but sort of keeping a side eye on it.
Yeah, escaping this is also one part. I mean, technically you survive in the pit. Everyone's already on the route to exit, expecting what is indeed not quite coming their way. So everyone's sticking together, holding on to their weapons. And we're looking at the very last round of the half now, as the scoreline becomes 7-4. Now, we had this 8-4 affair already over on Inferno, and I'm starting to get a bit of a deja vu as we speak, with how, again, on 4 rounds, Alliance falls a bit quiet, struggles with economy, and is not able to pincer through the adapting play of BC.GAME.
Well, if this series is anything to go by, what will happen is this will be an 8-4 half, and then it will be 9-4, and then a miracle round will come on through, and then we'll have a comeback. We haven't seen an overtime yet today, but we've had a lot of superficial comebacks, haven't we? We've seen a lot of really early round leads, and then an attempt, but then they fall kind of a little bit flat on the comeback. I either want to see a proper comeback or potentially BC Games just run away with the series, because it's felt they've been on the back foot for quite a bit. This feels like the first map they properly felt in charge. I said, actually, no, it's been a bit back and forth. You know what, I won't stand on that one. Simple, lining up the first shot, not quite able to connect it as they fly by his vision.
So that's good damage. Early round, a player that he would love to play close with, having an MP9 on him. And so things slow down a bit. Ooh, Alliance is hanging on for dear life in middle once again, but seems like there are very little answers for how BC Game is slowly taking control, though. Ramtap needs to be careful, gets tagged in the fire, and Poi is hoping to hunt him down. Though his teammate falls, and with that, but very little support, where do you go? Maybe Poi is forced to look towards short, together with Arrow soon, because up they will come, completely blinded and taken out. Oh man, and it's just Poi now, 17 HP in a dream.
Yeah, the utility has just been so much better on the side of BC Game this half. The flash is looking so good, and look at that case and point. And 8-4 is where we're going to end off this half.
This is a shakedown. Order up that beat just like a takeout. Show me you got soul inside those new shoes, and you can rock and roll with an attitude. So good, so fresh, just the way you like it. Just the way you like it. You got the remix. Keep it on repeat, just let the beat kick. Everywhere you go, you bring the roof down. Everybody knows you got your own sound. So good, so fresh, just the way you like it. Just the way you like it. Feet. Show me you got soul. Just the way you like it. So good, so fresh. Get up on your feet, this is a shakedown.
Alright, we are back into the action as currently our scoreline here is 8-4. It is the final map of this best of 3 final, and we are soon to find out who will be our winner, who will go on to Pro Leagues. Currently a big lead here in favour of BC.GAME as they are looking to turn the odds in their favour. Now, big chunk of dualies on board here for them, hoping to give themselves a bit of extra firepower, but where will Alliance go?
2 guns are better than 1, but we'll see if they can actually make something with them. Andu on this angle, the flash so good. Upe runs him on down. Prime Taps has to pull back a little bit. Casanito hops on, hoping to alleviate the pressure, but actually they run into a little bit of a trap here. Bodhi gets one, Twist finds another, and Simple is desperately, frantically spamming. He's going to give away his location, taken down because of it, and now Nexa doesn't want any piece of this. Is going to take a headshot through the smoke and decides not worth it. Not today. Has to be so wary that they are going to push him anyway, but that bomb is down. This round is over. It's just if he can find anything at all with what he has been left with.
Yeah. It's not looking very bright.
No, not particularly.
I mean, he hears people around him a bit paranoid, maybe someone behind.
He's actually found a pretty incredible timing to work with here. I think he dies in mid here. There's too many people watching.
Yeah, no. Not gonna happen. It's alright. Make the gap a little bit more small. And on the back of a bomb plant and everything, and it being on T side, this can really give them a little bit of a boost here up into this second half.
Yeah, we talked about them, a very momentum-based team, so if they can kick this half off nicely, and with the CT economy being a little bit difficult to manage at times, they bought themselves the biggest advantage they could ever ask for. Don't worry, Avid, we've all missed the jump up sometimes. Sometimes you just walk into the curb, it happens. Over towards A, we see a stack. Now, this stack didn't work particularly well for Alliance when they ran it last half, where Will we see anything different? Guess we will find out. Slowly, hesitantly, making their way on over. They've got a smoke for the crossing. Not that that's going to matter too much.
It's going to be straight out and execute onto this side. Walking into the stack of pistols, though. I mean, there's good tags, but not enough to kill them. And with that, a follow-up security for Alliance. Keep the majority alive as well, which is a good sign. And they can slowly start to build up that economy here to give them a bit of a reservoir to, yeah, march on towards that finish line.
Now, if it's a reservoir, surely they'd swim on through to that finish line. Sorry, awful joke. We've got too far without a pun, so I had to throw one in somewhere. Time up being called from Alliance. Now, we haven't actually seen them use all too many this series. BC.GAME, I believe, burnt 2 pretty quickly. 1 before round 4, and then a second one in a couple of rounds after that. So they've only got 1 more to hang on to, but a timeout being called here by Alliance still gives them the opportunity to get the coach on the line, have a little bit of a conversation about how to set themselves up to keep this lead going, because they're running out of opportunities to establish themselves a little bit of a buffer.
I mean, the BC.GAME find a blow back right now that could already come and sting, even though there is, as you said, a bit of a buffer left for Alliance, even if they were to lose this. But, you know, eventually the rounds are going to run dry. You need to strike now. Get yourselves a lead back in. And it's easier said than done, especially up on the T side. Gotta have a game plan ready. So far, seems to be going in a bit of a similar strategy as what BC.GAME did in the latter stages of that first half. Focus on middle, split out from there. Mainly short was a part that they exploited a lot.
Okay, looks like they are going to be able to hurl a lot of utility over to take that corner. Smoke comes over the top though, and that's going to stop everything in its track, force them to back away, find a new angle, or to wait it out. But they don't seem particularly patient here. No, they want to go for the fight. Andu forced off the corner. Gonna catch the first Upe as he jumps on round, and Boy wants no part of this. He doesn't want to trade, he doesn't want to be involved in this fight. He's going to be dragged into it anyway and taken down. Era falls as well, and just across the map, the blanket coverage reigns supreme. Twist hoping he spotted ahead, but now as it ducks down, he's not going to find anything. Maybe Avid can alleviate the pressure. Absolutely not. He falls, and that's going to leave even more weight on Twist's shoulders. He's stuck in the pit. That's a very dangerous position to even try and escape from right now, with no support, with no knowledge of what's going on in mid. Now, we can tell that he's got a little chance to escape, but he does not know that. He's just going to sit here and wait out that time. I hope that no one's going to push him, and no one's going to press the issue.
Yeah, at this point, you know, in BC.GAME, this only been their very first one, round 1. Sure, there was a bit of lost bones for them to work with, but keeping it clean, not throwing away unnecessary resources, that is the way to go right now, to give yourself a clean path towards victory here. Of course, still, we need 4 more rounds on their end, but keeping that gap as big as possible to give themselves breathing room. That is what they desire. Now, maybe not the most optimal buy here on the side of Alliance. Upe just on a deagle. But it could definitely be a lot worse. This is a round that they could still make work. It's only a question as to how, because last round they were kind of being stalled in towards the middle. That game plan with going into CT. They were being a bit hesitant. You know, they lost that initial player. They didn't know if they wanted to back up, if they wanted to trade, if they wanted to commit. And that hesitation eventually cost them the round. So we need maybe a bit more assertiveness from them and decision making in order for them to come out victorious.
Yeah, it's when they were being assertive that they were finding the most success, especially over on, if we can cast our minds back to map number 1, Ancient. Feels like so long ago now, but here we go. They throw a little bit of utility, no, back and forth. They're kind of shuffling around, twiddling their thumbs. Smoke's faded, so now they've got to go, but a Molotov at their feet. That's going to give them more excuse just to wait. Oh, dude, you're not going to hear anything, but in the perfect position to activate here. Has to be careful not to get caught off by Avid, but Sanito with the first. There is a trade. Ooh, Simple can't quite find the connect either, and they mow down, eliminate the forces. Nexa can see again, vision restored. Not going to be able to stop the bomb going down. Quick check behind him, knows that it's safe, and Prime taps. Oh no, he's got no idea what's coming for him.
Oh, that is rough. Avid with a lurk.
It's been sad.
Oh, he's accounting for it. I mean, he's a bit doubtful where to pick to first. He does get the kill, does get tagged in the process. Oh, but the timing of Nexa, it is so good. And if they can make this work together, put pressure on him from both angles. He is looking left and right. He is good for 1, not quite good for the second. And with a kit on the back of Prime Taps, they can get this defuse in, they can get double digits, and just with an inch of leverage, they can get it over the line.
Oh, Prime Taps is just sent to check for that flank, because there was a moment, there was just a tiny scrap of trigger discipline we saw there. Avid had an opportunity, had a line of sight, but wasn't quite sure he'd be able to get the pick long range from that B side. So he waits, he lets Prime Taps settle into the CT position, and that's when Prime Taps finally has a little bit of a window to watch for that flank, take it down, and that means that all attention gets distracted by the fact that their lurker's gone and that their numbers have dwindled. So beautifully played there from Prime Taps, and now he's on the right side to make another stellar performance happen. I'd love to see a round where they try something pacier here, Alliance.
Yeah, currently it's been more of this default play, just waiting it out, seeing if there's any pushes. And right now with limited amount of utility, this is maybe the plan that you hope to see. try and just go in as a unit. Now, a big chunk of the utility has been deployed here over towards middle in the hopes for a split B. As over towards that side, oh my god, I want to try and set foot onto even an inch of B side, but they are completely denied the opportunity. Lovely anchoring there coming out of BC.GAME, and suddenly the timer is starting to tick. Because Alliance, you know, we got a little bit more out of them in the beginning of this half. But the gap is starting to become scary close, and now 11-6. As BC.GAME only needs 2 more rounds.
This is usually, and where on both previous maps we'd see a force buy happen from Alliance to try get them a foot in to try make a comeback. But the money's really hit and miss on these plays. But I think they want to go for... Oh, wait, maybe not. No, they do. They've got that AK, and it wasn't sold. It was just passed on over. So it does look like they really want to fight for this penultimate, well, potentially penultimate round. Tech ball still coming through, but a couple of players starting to buy up. Gives me a little bit of hope. I'm hearing the clicks. It's always a good noise.
Gotta be patient here. And again, these little sort of bumps in the road are far from ideal. Especially, I feel like if you're Alliance here, like you wanna get back into the game, you wanna have the game plan executed. And the longer sort of this anxiety can build and all these thoughts in your head can roam, the tougher it honestly gets.
Yeah, indeed. And we talked about this being back and forth, and that when it's a little bit choppier, it seems that Alliance can't quite find their footing. When they're able to get, you know, a foothold, they climb so quickly. But when they've not got, you know, 2 rounds that they've managed to piece together, it feels very stop and start, very haphazard. So they're a team that relies a lot on momentum at times, and they've just not been gifted the opportunity by that. Between the tech pauses, between BC.GAME's always having an answer for them here, it is certainly being a little bit more difficult for them.
It's like, honestly, what a difference this game has been in comparison to the first time these two teams faced each other here, which was only 2 days ago. But back then, you know, Inferno, you know, today already around was a lot of a more closer affair. Last time it was 13-6, and now we were thinking, okay, maybe we can even see like something like an overtime. And right now here on Dust 2, last time 13-3 in favor of Alliance, and look at the scoreline now of BC.GAME. I mean, they weren't able to do a single thing up on CT side, and currently they are, well, picking up, getting that momentum on their side, and potentially finishing the game on that side.
Yeah, I mean, poor BC.GAME, they've had to come back into this series, you know, and yeah, they've had to come back into this series a little bit, and now they're teetering over the edge. I believe just a couple of tech issues. We shouldn't be too much longer, hopefully. I say with bated breath. I don't want to jinx it, you know?
I mean, yeah, we gotta just wait and be patient.
Well, we are going to go to a very short break, guys, just to make sure that everything is ready. We can put the flourishes and the finishing touches on this. We're going to head to a short break, and we'll be back as soon as we can to get this game underway and concluded.
I'll keep going till my feet fall below. I'll keep going till my feet fall below. I'll keep going till my feet fall below. I'll keep going till my feet fall.
Sometimes you gotta pray for a victory. Yeah, I'm overzealous when I'm thinking about the cash flow. I never had no handouts, just came natural. I've been testing so much, all these restless nights, all these different situations that I've been through. I seen pain trying to creep in through a window, but now I'm sliding through the hood in a benzo. You gotta separate yourself just to elevate. I keep some drink in my cup to see through the hate. Sometimes on the road to glory, you gotta press the brakes. I got a lesson plan for all my past mistakes. I swear I'm proud of all my best and my worst days. Proud of all my feet when I touch the ground. Front of 8 at Beijing, man, ain't no sound.
Welcome back, everybody. The suspense building and the pause only helping to build it further. Simple wants to close this series out, and an opening pick right here would be an incredible way to start, but he's not going to be awarded the fight he's so desperately itching for.
I mean, the odds certainly are in BC.GAME's favour, with the majority being on pistols here on the side of Alliance. Didn't really dare to go in with a full-on buy, keeping some left in the bank for a potential next round, but there's a large gap here to make up for, and the stakes are high. Smokes and a nade, not quite doing a whole lot, but I need to be careful, because the area, for example, there in the middle does have the bomb, and if that drops, it's going to be bringing Alliance into a very tricky scenario.
Absolutely.
Back up.
Given a lot of respect to work with here, actually, and maybe a bit too much. They are just on the pistols here, so they will be more than happy to try and retake, not let any of these early fights go awry. Nexa has to be careful not to be overrun here. There's no second point of contact to help him out, to bail him out if it's needed. Simple. Missed first shot, missed second shot, just trying to keep hold of the attention, I guess. But there we go, finally the third connect. Avid's got one, but it's a short-lived victory. And there we go, finally series point achieved for BC.GAME. 6 opportunities to close this out. They're looking so strong, like there never was a break. They are firing on all cylinders, raring to go, raring for that regional final already.
And a lot on the line here for Alliance to try and fight for. We were mentioning already earlier for both these teams. Previously, in the first cup, they didn't manage to get into the prize pool territory. And now both of them are so close, and additionally have a spot in the regional final, which means top 4 teams, and they will then battle it out for a shot at Pro League. So definitely a lot on the line. BC.GAME can already smell that victory.
Casanito, we've sung his praises this series. Needs to be careful here. Rounds the corner, the flash is so perfect, they peek anyway. There's 2, and Nexa with a third demolishes their chances. Alliance looking dead in the eyes at that 13th, hitting the boards. 2 versus 4 needed, and Simple's holding the line. It's a missed shot, it's a mercy.
And they are allowed to hang on. But there is a hefty disadvantage for Alliance here. They have that smoke, use it as a bit of lever to try and cross, but Nexa is awaiting. He's playing it quiet, not making much noise. Has his teammate a bit further back. And honestly, if they can play this one out together, not quite. Good for 1 kill at least. Still though, player advantage, and look at the HP on Upe. It is only 14. Simple and Prime Taps on the hunt to victory. As Upe is creeping out of the smoke, he can't do the job, but it is 13-6 as BC.GAME Esports win the second cup here at ECL.
They do. Massive congratulations to them. They booked themselves a spot in that regional final alongside Paravision, and then whoever wins Cup 3 and 4. Bit of a reverse sweep, but my god, they've done it, and they are looking incredible. They right the wrongs of the first match in that upper bracket final. They set history straight. And Simple, we highlighted him as our Kadir player to watch. The moment he got his hands on the AWP, it all started to go wrong for Alliance. An incredible series for them, and this roster's really coming together nicely.
Yeah, I mean, this roster ultimately, you know, they even have players on trial, their coach as well. So, you know, there's a lot of these players just have a lot to prove in these couple of coming months. And so far, I mean, you know, first cup didn't quite get the result maybe that they wanted, but since then, things have started to align and look a lot brighter.
Yeah, they have. And honestly, just incredible stuff here. Highlight after highlight. You know, that final map, Casanito, I feel like a player we've got to shout out. Just the king of being in the right place at the right time. The flashes and the utility just on a whole other level. Alliance were lacking a little bit in that department, but commiserations to them. They have had a huge improvement over the first cup and, you know, came through that upper bracket only to fall at the final hurdle. But BC.GAME, that's it. They are our Cup 2 champions.
Yeah, and with that, they win $12,000. They secured that spot towards the regional final. And, you know, they don't have to worry about